Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, welcome. If you are coming back, welcome back. I'm so glad to have you. My name is Cassie, and on this channel, we talk all things of healing, self-love, and self-care, and of course, becoming your dream woman. And on today's episode, we are going to talk about how your unsolicited help may be killing your attraction and polarity. So, are you in a relationship, dating, engaged, or even married, and you generally love your man? This message is for you. Because what I'm about to say may sting a bit, but it will save your relationship dynamic in the future. One of the fastest ways that women slowly destroys their attraction without even realizing it is by overhelping. Constantly sending job listings, correcting how he does things, telling him how he should handle different situations, offering advice that he didn't even ask for, or trying to improve him. Yes, that can, make you feel that you're being loving, that you are being so supportive, or that you just want the best for the both of you, right? But what is actually happening in this dynamic is that you are slowly shifting from being girlfriend or wife mode into being that mother mode. And once that shift happens, polarity ends up collapsing. And polarity is very important to have a successful, healthy relationship with your significant other. And here is what this often looks like. Oh, I found this job for you. You should respond like this. That's not the best way to handle it. Sending links, emails, suggestions, and constantly, or even managing his growth like it's your responsibility. Now, pause for a moment and think. If you're being honest with yourself, does that feel very romantic to you? Or does it feel like you're his manager? Because when you step into that constant correction role or, redirecting, you're actually moving into that masculine leadership role that he wants. And when you take that role, he is unconsciously moves into the opposite. So if you are taking that masculine role, he's going to move into his feminine side. And that's not because he's weak or because he's incapable, but it's because of the polarity of the energy. And when one person leads excessively, the other one ends up following. And eventually, that will cause you to start feeling like you're raising him. He's one of your children. And then he'll start feeling judged, managed, or even suddenly inadequate to be with you. And this is not a dynamic that you want. Attraction requires polarity. Polarity requires differences in energetic roles. So when you become the planner, the fixer, the strategist, the motivator, the constant advisor, you're no longer the woman that he feels inspired to lead. And a man does not feel romantic attraction towards someone who feels like his supervisor or his mother. Eventually, you'll think, "Oh, why doesn't he lead? Why doesn't he take any initiative? Why do I have to do everything?" But the truth is, you trained the dynamic to be this way. And not intentionally, not maliciously, but energetically. That's what happened. And let's go even a bit deeper than that. Why do women do this? You're in mom mode, especially if you already have children. You equate love with fixing. You're anxious about the future. You don't trust his timeline. You think helping makes you valuable, and you struggle to sit back and allow. For many women, especially nurturing women, helping actually feels natural. But here's the truth. Support and control are not the same thing. Helping that is not requested can feel like I don't believe that you can handle this on your own. I definitely know better. You need guidance. And even if that's not your attention, that's the way it comes across. So if you want to stay in your feminine energy in the most healthiest way, here is the shift. Before offering anything, pause for a moment, and instead of saying, here's what you should do, try, would you like my thoughts on this? Or ask, do you mind if I share something with you? And that one sentence preserves the respect that the man is actually looking for. It actually gives him choice. It keeps him in the leadership role, and it honors his autonomy. And if he says no, you let it go. You don't get mad or whatnot, you let it go. And that's the part that requires emotional maturity. So if this happens and you are feeling a little upset or a bit taken back by him not wanting your advice, go journal about it, go for a walk, go do something to get that energy out of you. Don't let it sit within you, because then, you maybe turn a little sour and bitchy towards him. You don't want that neither. Now here's another mistake that we tend to do. You ask for permission. He says yes, and then you end up unloading 20 suggestions. No, don't do this. I know it could be difficult sometimes, but don't want to do that. If he invites your input, offer one thing, maybe two tops. But keep it concise, keep it light, and don't turn it into a coaching session. Because overwhelming him with solutions will shift you into that dominant role. You're not there to run his life, you're there to complement it. When you stay in that unsolicited advice mode long term, you start, resenting him. He stops leading. You feel masculine and exhausted. He feels criticized. Intimacy ends up declining and attraction fades. And then the relationship starts to feel like a partnership of logistics instead of polarity. And that's when women say, I feel like I have another child. But the dynamic was built slowly over time by doing these things. So let's clarify the difference. We can have a better idea, right? So healthy support looks like encouragement when asked, believing in him, allowing him to solve his own problems, offering ideas sparingly, and respecting his decisions. And then also what I would do is give him compliments, boost him up when he is doing something good and, that you want him to do, right? Even if it is the way he's planning your dates, the way that he's leading you, say, oh, I am so grateful for the way that you handled that. That made me feel safe. Or I love that, you planned this amazing date. I felt very special. Things like that. And then on the other side of this is the mothering aspect, right? So mothering looks like monitoring his growth, sending constant solutions to him, correcting without invitation, taking responsibility for his outcomes, feeling anxious if he's not progressing fast enough. And one of these dynamics builds attraction and the other builds dependence. Especially, I find it if you have children, this can feel automatic. You start to manage, you organize, you're anticipating needs, but your partnership is not your child. And if you want a romantic relationship, then you cannot relate to him as one of your kids. So here is your assignment for the next 30 days. Do not offer any advice unless it is asked for. If you want to share, ask first. Limit your suggestions to him. Let him handle his own problems. Watch what shifts. And again, make sure that you are thanking him and boosting him up when he is doing something good for you or the house, when it's going well, because that will give him more confidence to lead more and to do it more, right? We all want the pat on the back, so make sure you're giving that. And you may feel uncomfortable at first. You may feel like, oh, you're not doing enough. But sitting back is not neglect. It is actually trust. And having this type of trust is fabulous, right? Because if you can't trust the man that you're with, then you might as well not even marry him, because without trust, the relationship isn't going anywhere. A healthy masculine man wants to feel capable. So when you constantly step in, you're unintentionally communicating that he isn't. So let him rise, let him lead, and let him figure it out, even if it's not the way that you want it to be. Your power is not in directing him. It's actually in being the woman that he feels inspired to show up for day in and day out. So when you soften that control, you are restoring polarity. When you respect your autonomy, then you can restore the attraction. So if you've been over helping, don't shame yourself. Awareness is growth. This isn't about resentment or blame. Ask yourself, am I supporting or am I managing? Am I trusting or am I controlling? Am I being his partner or have I slipped into being his parent? Because the relationship that you want, one where he leads, where you feel cherished, where there is a strong attraction and have polarity, requires you to step back from that motherly mode or being his manager, right? So you do not have to fix him to be worthy. You do not have to manage him to be secure. And you do not have to direct him to be valuable. Sometimes the most powerful feminine move that you can do is resist, restrain yourself from doing all of these things. Let him take the lead. Let him make the mistakes that he's going to make. As long as it's not causing you to go bankrupt, lose your home, or, burning the house down or causing any, big health problems. People are going to make mistakes. Nobody's perfect, and not even us. And sometimes we try to pretend that we are, but we're not. So I love you, and I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.